So in the last class yesterday, we have discussed something about the concept of organization behavior and how organization behavior huh, is related to different disciplines and how culture is effective and all. And today I will let you know in a more comprehensive about, I can say in a more depth about how these things are related as per your course. Yeah, great. So, organization behavior, yesterday we understood that it's nothing but understanding the human behavior, human mind, and human emotions in the context of organization function. We have gone through different definitions that is given by different authors or renowned authors on organization behavior. So first is organization behavior is an investigation study of individual and groups. So today I'm going to give you some more idea about it as per your syllabus. Okay. So yesterday we got to know organization behavior is study of human behavior, mind, and emotions in the context of organization, in the context of organization functionality. One more point I just want to add today is it is nothing like that key organization behavior only deals with only one employee. It's the study of human behavior in individual and in groups also. Second, it also studies the impact of organizational structure on human behavior. So the more extensive part of organization behavior also study how organization culture, how organizational structure, how organizational functionality influence human behavior. Third is the application of knowledge to achieve organizational effectiveness. First, you will study individual and group, you will study employee as individual in group also. Second, you will study the impact of organizational culture on human behavior or employee behavior. Third is like organization behavior. This also implement all this knowledge so that organizational effectiveness can be attained or organization can function properly. Yes. So indirectly or directly, it is understanding prediction and control of human behavior in organization. And in other words, it is study and application of knowledge about how people act within organization. It's a human tool basically for the human benefit. It applies broadly to behavior of people in all type of organizations such as businesses, be it government, be it school, be it college, be it academic, or be it tuition, and it helps people structure technology and the external environment to blend together into an effective operative system. So basically, it is something, as I said, organizational behavior is basically is an art and a science also. How it is an art? It how it is a science first because it try to understand facts, figures through observation, through experience, through events, and it's an art because it is trying to utilize that observation, that experiences in the real time situation to understand human behavior in group and in individual for organization effectiveness. Is it? The next is what exactly the scope of organization behavior. Yesterday, I just told you a brief about that. It is basically a study of human emotions, and it is today I told you there are three perspectives in organization behavior, and I also added one more point that is it's an art and science both. Then what exactly the scope of organization behavior? The thing that I told yesterday that I told right now, the scope is very varied right now. Yes, it usually study the impact of culture on organizational behavior. Yesterday we discussed that every nation or every geographical location do have its own culture. Culture I means how we prefer to function in a society. Let's say the culture of I'm in Odia, right? I'm from Odisha, and we usually celebrate a festival called Rojo. Okay, that's something we celebrate. We believe that on that 3-4 days Mother Earth go for a menstrual cycle, and for that reason Mother Earth should take rest, and that 4 days we don't go for anything which could create pressure on earth, like farming or digging or anything, any sort of thing which involves any machinery digging or any machinery production on earth. So this is our culture. We just try to devote 3-4 days, or we just try to celebrate the menstrual cycle of female in terms of doing that, and we respect that. For that 3 days, for your interesting factor, I just let you know, for that 3 days in Odisha, none of the girl do any household chores. It's all about men for that 3 days. We usually celebrate it by shopping, by traveling here and there. We used to eat a lot of traditional cuisines, used to wear clothes. We celebrated. All the females for that 3-4 days don't cook, don't do any household chores. It's all about men. All the 3 days, men used to do all the household chores, and we used to sit calmly, peacefully, and celebrate the things. So this is something culture, and that culture influence certain set of behavior within us. That culture influenced the males of Odisha, that yes, for that 3 days we have to get prepared, and we have state holiday for that 3 days also. So this is culture. So this culture may have influenced certain set of organization behavior. How, I will let you know in the later part. Okay, so next is management of conflict and stress. When you are aware about the individual behavior and emotion, it could be very easy to manage conflict and stress through OB. Organizational development, when you have chance with you to understand human behavior, human activities, and you have that capacity with you to implement that knowledge for organizational development, then obviously that organization development could be a scope of OB. Then organization culture. Let's say how OB and organization culture is related. I'm working I'm working right now in Hyderabad. Yeah, I cannot hire my colleagues who usually dress up in their traditional attire when some festival comes up. Yeah, a few days back there is a puja called Varalakshmi Puja in Hyderabad, and I found that each and every house of my society are decorated. Each and every society of household of my society who knows me invited me to their home, and they did some rituals which is not I'm familiar with as an Odia, and they gave me some fruit, some like handmade foods and handmade cuisines of Hyderabad. And all that day when I went to my office, I saw that all the female colleagues of mine are dressed up in their traditional attire. So the management cannot ask them, don't come in this attire. Being functional in a geographical area where that is in traditional attire, you cannot ask your employee not to come in that attire on that particular day. That is how organizational culture and organizational behavior is related. Am I making sense? So, see, when conflict and stress occurs, usually conflict occurs when opinions are contrasted. Yeah, when something which you are saying is wrong for me but right for you, something which I'm saying is right for me or wrong for you, there arises the conflict. But when you understood that everything that I'm saying is opinion, and when I understood that everything that you are saying is an opinion, there is nothing right and wrong, it could be easy to maintain the conflict. Yeah, the best example, let me tell you. Suppose you are working as a human resource professional or finance professional in an organization, and your boss asks you to come down to the cabin, just tell you something which you are not expecting, and which you feel very bad about it. Most of the time we feel very bad about it. Why my manager told me like this? I'm not feeling good. Why he is behaving this like me? I'm feeling very bad. Yeah, the one most important thing that we forget over there is like the person who is sitting as my boss is his designation. His designation have some roles and responsibility which is aligned to my designation and my responsibilities. So when my boss is saying something to me, he's saying something to me as senior psychologist. He is scolding me my profession, my responsibility, not as he's saying like you have not completed this responsibility. You are responsible for this responsibility, whether you have not completed. Most of the times, actually, most of the managers or most of the bosses, they don't scold you as an individual. They don't have that right. They scold you as a designation. And that's something which OB usually teach you how to manage that. Am I making sense? Great, good. So then comes to transactional analysis. Transaction analysis is basically a technique of human resource management where certain like human resource planning department usually did this technique, and this transaction analysis usually go for certain set of changes in power, certain changes in responsibilities, which usually helps the organizational behavior to function. It's a very vast term to understand. Let's not involve into it. The second is group behavior, power, and politics. Yes. So every organization have group behavior. Every organization do have power. Like when comes to the power in the field, the position carries the power. The hierarchy system of the organization carries the power. If I'm a manager, then I have more power in terms of commanding, or in terms of saying, or in terms of navigating, than you, being you are my reportee. Yes, that's called power. So here in organization, power comes with position, power comes with hierarchy system. Yes, but OB try to let you understand that power comes with position, but it can be managed effectively so that our group behavior can be managed. And politics is very inevitable. Let me tell you a very good thing that my manager used to tell me what politics is, and what I learned in my career also. I'm not very confined to corporates, but I'm very confined to universities and hospitals. But still, what I got to know politics is being done by two kind of people. One, who don't know how to perform their job. Second, who know what you are or what they are not. First is speaks about their ability. Second speaks about their inability. So they know what is their inability is, then they will do the politics. And then they know what is their ability is, what beyond that they cannot go it, then also they do politics. So politics can easily be managed by some sort of activities. Let me tell you how. Most of the time, in the name of professionalism, we used to create such an environment where we have to repress our emotions. But if you will learn how to say no, I'm suffering from office politics very badly, even if I'm not the most productive and sincere. Even if most of the time people are not good at saying no. They used to say it very harshly, or they are okay, I'm not going to. Please, I'm not interested. That's actually create a problem in office premises. You have to learn how to say no. If let's say 2 days back, someone of like one of my colleagues asked me to the office, can we go for a dinner? I cannot, because I have some personal commitment for my child. So I have to attend something for my child, and my child was waiting for me at my home. And on that day, my husband couldn't make it because of some of his professional commitment. So I have to do it for my professional personal commitments, because my child was waiting for me. And it was a plan for a long time now, and I cannot cancel it for my child. So in that case, what I did actually, I didn't say no, I couldn't come, I have some commitment. I usually deal with this situation in a very polite and respectful manner. What I did actually, I just say thank you very much, so and so, for calling me. I'm really happy that you consider me to your dinner party. I would love to go with you, but I have some commitments which I have to go with. It was a long committed situation, so please forgive me. I could not make it out this time. I will sure do it for the next, but next time we would be very good party to enjoy. Just let me know, like, just give me a prior notice so that I can make my arrangement. As you know, I have a small child with me at my place. So Believe me, she was like, well, I can understand your situation. That's fine, not an issue. We can make it for the next time. I'm not saying this is the ideal way. Usually, there is a rule in psychology which we called as sandwich feedback. Okay. First, we speak good about it. Second, we say our opinion. Then third, we say good things. Again, what could be the future good things? This is called sandwich process of passing information, of sandwich feedback. You say good about the situation first. Then if you want to try to communicate negative or your opinion in a very respectful manner, then third is again good things what could be done. So this is something sandwich feedback that I usually recommend to my corporate clients also. So the next is, we have discussed yesterday also how other disciplines are related to your organization behavior, so I'm skipping it. The next comes to individual and cultural differences. We have focused on how the appearance, behavior, and trait, I'm sorry, of the people we encountered influence our understanding of them. So this is something which speaks about how we perceive people in the organization. Yeah, their appearance, their behavior, their trait that we encounter with ourselves. Based on that, we understand them. It makes sense that this would be our focus because of the emphasis within social psychology on the social situation in the case. People we are judging. Okay, people who are well dressed up, I like them the most. Maybe people who are knowledgeable would be, attractive for you. So what you learn in your social situation usually involves in your judgment process. Based on that, you judge people. Based on that, you point opinions for others. Based on that, you create your own group or social group. So that's something individual and cultural differences. How it is related to UBI? People from different society, from different culture, from different geographical location carry different information with them, carry different perception with them, different assumptions with them. Let me tell you, there is a guy called Ganesh, let's say, suppose, who is a colleague of you and a colleague of your manager. The manager of your manager called you and asked you to narrate something about Ganesh. Yeah, you told that Ganesh is very efficient, is very effective, is very skillful person who knows when to do what, who knows how to do things. And apart from that, he's a very good colleague because he usually helps me in situation when I'm not able to perform my task. Why you did this? Because you observe Ganesha in this manner, and or Ganesha reflect this sort of behavior before you. Simultaneously, when your manager was called by his manager, the same person who called you, he gave some quite contradictory statement about Ganesh. Why? Ganesh is working with you also, with him also. But why the contradictory statement? Because there may be two reasons. First, Ganesh may display this sort of behavior to your manager, or your manager do have their own perception, assumptions based on his upbringing, his cultural values, based on which he judges it. So this is something how individual and cultural differences comes into UBI. Underlining principles for observation. What thing I am thinking or what exactly I am going on in my mind while I'm observing certain things determine my perception about a person or about organization. Subjective schemas, attitude, and expectation. We all are different and unique. We have our own schemas. When I see a tiger, I may be very afraid of that. Or when I see a snake, I may be very afraid of that because of some incident or because of some events that was told to me or because of some experience that I have encountered. But you may not be afraid of a snake by seeing it on the roadside. Maybe you are familiar to that. Maybe you are from that place where snakes are very prominent by going here and there. The schema is something different. So the attribute, the characteristics, the thing that I draw towards a person is my schema. So it's very subjective, very my attitude, my expectations are very subjective. The expectation that I carry for myself is very different that I expect from my reportees, that I expect from my manager. Is very different because I expect my reportees to be on time or to perform the task effectively, and the same expectation will be there from my manager to me. He may be in need of the things that Kunmin should perform his task efficiently whenever there is a client, because I have expertise in suicidal tendencies. So my manager would be expecting that whenever there is a suicidal client in the hospital, that be there. But I couldn't expect the same with my reportees, because my reportees have different abilities than to suicidal. So different expectations. Cognitive accessibility. Cognitive accessibility means when uh, let's see, we have our own experiences, we have our own events, we have our own assumptions, thinking based on our past life or past experiences. When I am seeing certain behavior or when I'm seeing certain emotions, if I am, how speedily I'm able to relate it my past experience and try to draw a conclusion or try to observe effectively, that is known as cognitive accessibility. Okay, so if I'm able to do it as quickly as possible, then there is a chance that there may be certain other things that could happen, positive or negative, that is a secondary thing. Okay, then information processing. Most of the time, you know, when you saw a film, you saw that Shahrukh Khan is fighting in the screen, you process the information in your mind. Yes, Shahrukh Khan is there and fighting. It's a very unconscious or voluntary activities. The amount of information you are putting in your mind and the type of the speed of processing that information in your mind determines your memory. Usually, schema is basically a picture that you are creating in your mind towards an event, towards a subject, or towards a people based on your experience with them. That's schema. Yeah. So information processing is something when I got some idea, picture, event, something is going on, and how speedily I'm processing this information. There are students, when the teacher is writing any problem, they quickly say 7, 10, 8. So why they are doing it? Because they process the information very speedily than the other people. But some people take time. They process the information very slowly, steadily, then that will let you know this is the thing. So information processing also create a big difference in human behavior. How quickly you are able to understand situation, how quickly you are able to understand your roles and responsibility, how quickly you perform your task and given task and assignments. That makes the difference actually. Cognitive accessibility is like how speedily you are able to assess the information that is stored in your mind related to the situation you are facing right now. That is cognitive accessibility. Let's say a few days back, when you are moving to your manager, you saw that your manager was quite upset, and when you go into his room and ask, sir, you asked me to come, how can I help you? And he started shouting at you. So after 6-7 months, you saw that the manager is in the same position and the same facial expression. So if your cognitive accessibility is good enough, then you will quickly remind yourself that it was happened, yes, on that day, on that month, the same. Then let me take some pause and let me take some time and go after some time and will give some excuse or something like that. So this is cognitive accessibility. Types of attribution, ethics, and values. How easily you are attributing something. Like it is bad, it is good, it is not enough for me, it is not good for me. So the types of attribution you carry yourself, or positive, this is positive for me, or the negative for me. We have seen many a time, we have even encountered many a time by saying that it's very negative. Negative vibes are coming in. So that is something attribute. That's the attribute of the person. Even if they try to positive, they cannot, because that's something very attribute. Yeah. Great. Next is in your course, that is perception and job attitude. Okay, what makes you satisfied with your job and develop a commitment to your company? Basically, your perception and your attitude towards the job. Like, if I will say that I'm highly satisfied for my job because of my perception, what perception is there? How, what I'm thinking about my job. Am I thinking that this job is suitable for me? Then I may be very satisfied with this job. If I'm thinking that the job that I'm doing right now is up to my abilities and I'm utilizing my abilities, my skills to excellence, and out of that I'm getting good remuneration, and out of that I'm getting good personal life, my personal and professional life is well maintained, then this perception may create a satisfaction towards my job and will create a commitment for my company. So the perception and the attitude I carry myself for the job makes the difference actually. When I'm carrying a positive attitude for my job, when I'm carrying a good perception about my job, and I think that my job perception is what I'm thinking about certain things. Yeah, it could be backed by my experience, it could be backed my education, it could be backed by upbringing, anything. Yeah, my social environment, my personal environment, my family environment, all influence my perception. So if I carried a positive perception about my job and positive attitude towards my job, then there is a high chance that I would be a satisfied employee. I would be committed to my company. So research shows that people pay attention to several aspects of their work environment. What exactly they are, how they are treated, the relationship they form with their colleagues and manager, the actual work they perform. It's nothing like that ki you are looking for a job of psychologist and you get it in an hospital, or you're looking for a software developer job or teacher anything and you get into a house and it's done. No, we look for a lot of things when we are in job, whether we have a good boss or not, whether we have flexibility of working or not, whether we have a good work environment or not, what are the infrastructure of the office that we are working, whether I'm able to use my skills and abilities in that particular job or not, whether I'm whether I'm treated with respect or not, or what sort of relationship that I share with my colleagues and managers. Yeah, and whether the job that I'm performing are valued or not, because sometimes you perform certain a lot of things but that is not valued. So all these things matter, and all these things usually create a perception within you about your job, and indirectly it is leading to your job satisfaction. So what exactly this job attitude means, whether you are properly recognized or not for your job, or whether you are rewarded for your job done or not, or your what exactly your compensation strategy, or whether you are equally paid or you just are unequally paid, or the people who are doing the same task as you are doing in the organization are getting more, whether you are doing very hard work but you are not paid. So that is something which usually influence the job attitude. But there is a growth or not. The most important that I learned from my career is that in any job, at certain set of time, it should be either learning or earning, be it in any job. If you are learning at the initial stage, if you are learning but your earning is bit compromisable, that's fine. But if after a certain set of time, your earning should be more than your learning at the middle time. When you are in a position as a managerial or super managerial position, then your earning and learning both matters to create a candidature for you. So earning and learning plays a very vital role in your job. Yes. Earning and learning matter a lot. So that is something responsibility and compensation ratio. Yes. Am I making sense? Are you able to get it? So how this job attitude actually creates a positive perception or positive types of like job satisfaction. Personality. What sort of personality you are carrying to the job? There are a lot of people who are, very calm, quiet, composed, like MS Dhoni. Personality. So the type of personality matters a lot. Okay. So the type of personality you carry with yourself usually matters a lot to your job satisfaction, your perception towards the job, and your job attitude. Because if I am a personality who is very calm, quiet, and able to understand things and mature enough to understand the situation, then it's very easy for me to tackle any sort of adverse situation that I'm dealing or that I'm having due to any sort of emotional behavior of my employees or of my colleagues. But if I am a person who is, irritated, aggravated usually, or not so patience, not having so patience, then I may be a quarrel child every time, or I may be a cry child every time. In that case, I may be easily fed up from my job, and my perception would be this job is not for me. This place is very awkward for me. I'm not want to go for this. I don't want to go with that. Yeah. Person environment fit. So here comes to the personality and environment. If a person is fit to the organization culture and structure where it is working, then the attitude towards the job and perception would be positive. If it is not, it would be negative. Then job characteristics. Sometimes the job, when you get hired, the name of the position would be different than the responsibility. So if the job characteristics is not matching to your expectation, then there is a problem. Psychological contract. Yesterday also I said there is a psychological contract between you and your organization. It's not visible, but through policies and procedures, it is there in your mind. If I will do this sort of task, I will be promoted. If I will not do, that will not be possible. So this is the psychological contract. Relationship at work. Whether I do have good relationship at work or not, whether I do have friends in the professional friends is not a word for me at least. I don't believe in that concept. So I don't know whether you people believe or not. That's something very subjective. But I believe, as far as my knowledge and my expertise is concerned, there is no professional friendship. There is no professional friend. It's either professional or friend. One cannot be a professional friend. So if you have good relationship with your work, let's say if you have any problems, you have concerns, you can discuss something, it creates a great impact in your perception towards your job. Stress, how stressful your job is. These days I have seen BPO people are very stressed because they have to work in shift, sometimes at night, sometimes at day. And even those who are working night shift, they usually very stressed, not because of their job profile, but because of the clock, like what I can say, the heart clock or the cardiac clock, because we are destined to sleep at night and we are working at that time. Because of that, they usually get irritated and stressed. Some work doesn't have good work-life balance. Let's say people who are working in finance department of any organization don't have any good work-life balance because they have to work a lot for managing a good finance of the organization. The supervisor. How is your supervisor? Biological clock, yes. The supervisor. The supervisor is a leader or a boss. That makes a great difference. If the supervisor is a leader, then it's very easy for you to manage the task because he will try to create avenues to perform good. If he's a boss, then it's somehow difficult to manage. Yes? People all in hotel management, there are a lot of things. Tourism industry, hotel management, people in finance, there are a lot of things. People in BPO also, they don't have a good work-life balance. So there are a lot of industries where there is no work-life balance. Okay, then comes to learning and reinforcement. Okay, learning can be defined as the permanent change in behavior due to direct or indirect experience. Let me tell you in a very psychological language, when people comes to us and say that, ma'am, I have addiction towards certain thing and I want to get rid of that. So what we as a psychologist used to do, we try to let them learn what is de-addiction is. We try to let them learn what is control. We try to let them learn how things can be done slowly and steadily. So learning usually comes with permanent change. I don't know how to operate my laptop, So when I will get to know operate laptop, I may not go to typewriter. So this is a permanent change for me. I just try to implement those things, or I try to engage myself in those things, which is permanent, which is more beneficial for me than to the earlier one. So it is a permanent behavior. It means change in behavior attitude due to education or due to practice or due to experience or training. It ends with usually completed with, okay, knowledge, skills, and abilities. So what exactly the factors that affect the learning system? Motivation. If you as an employee is motivated to perform certain tasks, then it will be easy for you to learn new things. Practice. If you are interested the practice of new things, of new changes in your life, then learning would be very beneficial for us, for you. Environment. Where you are working, if you are able, if the environment is in favor for you, then it's easy for you to learn. Let's say if you want your child to learn in this room and just keep your TV in a high volume, that environment will not support your child to learn, because environment plays a very vital role in learning. If you want your child to learn, then the environment have to be created for them. The same thing is there with organization also. Mental group, this plays a very vital role. What type of people you are preferring to be in, what sort of group you are choosing to hang out, what sort of friends you are trying to make. So if you have people of your mindset, then it's very easy to learn. If you have people in your circle who are having different mindset for you, then then it's very difficult for you to manage learning. So this is called mental group. Yeah. Then there are a lot of theories of learning which speaks about how learning happened usually. So I just let you understand four theories, four important theories of learning. That is classical conditioning theory. Classical conditioning theory means it's something where a stimulus will be given to you and the unconditioned stimulus will be learned. Let me tell you in a more classical conditioning is it is a Thorndike experiment where he just create an experiment in such a manner that for initial 1-2 days, he just ring the bell and give food to a dog. But after 5-6 days, what it does, he ring the bell but didn't give food to the dog. But after some days, what he did again, he ring the ball and see what exactly happening. Then he saw that the dog is salivating. So this is a type of learning. First, he create an environment or a conditioned stimulus of ringing the bell and giving the food. This environment he created. Then he let him learn again that even if there is no stimuli, even if there is a stimuli, response can be come in and the output is not desired. So this is a type of learning where conditioned stimuli is coupled with unconditioned stimuli, and the conditioned stimuli is impartial stimuli and the unconditioned response is given. Operant condition. Operant condition theory is also known as instrumental condition, where the learning process is sensitive and controlled by its outcome. Like a child may learn to a box to candy inside it, or learn to avoid touching a hot stove. Most of the time, this is operant condition. If you will do this, this will happen. If you will do this, that will happen. So that is operant condition. You know what the characteristics of the subject of the object or the event you are dealing with, and accordingly you will learn it. Okay, this is the thing. If I will do this, that will happen. So that is operant condition. Yeah. Next is social learning. Theory believes that people learn new behavior through overt reinforcement or punishment or via observational learning. These things usually done by imitating someone or by observing someone or by reinforcement that is given to you. I will let you know what is reinforcement in the later stage. Cognitive learning. Cognitive learning believes that a person's ideas, thoughts, knowledge, interpretation, and understanding about himself and environment plays a very vital role of his learning. What I am thinking about me, myself, and the environment, the people I'm living, about my career, about anything, that creates a big difference in my learning. Yeah, that is something cognitive learning. Yeah. The last part is reinforcement. Actually, reinforcement is an attempt to develop or strengthen desirable behavior. I mean, if there are two type of reinforcement: positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. Positive reinforcement strengthen and enhance your behavior by the presentation of positive reinforcers. So let's say if you are working in an organization and your manager commit you, or the organization through its policy and processes committed you, that if you will get two consecutive par excellence rating or exceeding the expectation rating, then you will be getting a promotion. So this is something positive reinforcement. Yes. So there are two types of primary reinforcement: primary positive reinforcement and secondary positive reinforcement. Primary positive reinforcement are related to food, clothes, and shelter, which usually don't motivate people in organization. But secondary positive reinforcement are monetary reinforcements, which usually motivate employees in the organization. Second is negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement is something removing the unpleasant events or unpleasant behavior when the desired outcome is occur. If someone is keep on criticizing you because you are not performing good, do it like this, do it like that. If you will do this, that will happen. Do it like this. So once you do like that and got the desired outcome, if the criticizing events are removed, then you will be motivated to learn and you will be motivated to perform the task. Negative reinforcement strengthen and increase behavior by the threat of and use of undesirable consequences or the termination or withdrawal of undesirable consequences in a more psychological language. Yeah, this is the end of the class.